So Captain Marvel opens in just a couple weeks, and the movie is absolutely plagued with problems leading up to it. And I'm talking the same kind of problems that really hurt Ghostbusters 2016. Not as bad as the director and the studio head coming out and attacking the fans, but really this movie has seen its lead star attack certain people in regards to, well, who gets to come and talk about the movie with her, who gets to interview her about the movie. And at first I'm like, how bad could it possibly be? Well, a friend of mine who runs a website forwarded me a letter he got, an email he got from a marketing agency putting together a Captain Marvel fan event. And press event, really. And that press event basically said, hey, listen, we want you to send a woman, don't send men. We want this to be a female-led thing. Try not to send men. Seriously, they had sent to him, do not send a man, send a woman. Not outright, pushing against it, but heavily suggesting. And of course, this is because of Brie Larson and Brie Larson's entire angle on how she's pushing this movie and its agenda. Here's the thing. It's not going to work out the way you want it to work out. It's simply not. A big reason for that is very much to do with the fact that its original forecasts have now dropped off. The forecast originally had it at 160 to 180 million for its opening weekend. That then dropped to 100 million plus, and now it's at 80 million. So it's dropped $100 million in its estimates. Now, these are estimates. They could not be real. We don't know yet. Movie's not out for a couple more weeks. But that's where it's at. That's what's happening. Now we see this today. This is going around here. Review bombing of Captain Marvel user scores on Rotten Tomatoes has begun. And this is coming from MCU Cosmic, written by Jeremy Conrad, who I do know on Twitter. And I started looking into it. And I see a lot of people talking about it. A lot of people talking about Captain Marvel review bombing already happening by sexist fans or sexist people. Same thing that happened with Ghostbusters, blah, 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 blah. Well, if you come over here and you take a look at the Rotten Tomatoes page, right? Captain Marvel reviews is where we're seeing this at, but it's audience. It's just an audience score. It's not all critics. It's not top critics. It's not my critics. It's just the audience. And the audience isn't even reviewing it. Hortigo here says, want to see it. This movie will close the mouths of the masquistas. Okay. So they're promoting it, but that was also 4 days ago on the 14th. David S says, search the lead actress. Drew doesn't want us going as a white male. I won't go. Drew, I hope your movie is good without me. I don't know who he's talking about there. I don't know who Drew is. Maybe it's the director. No, not the director. The only Drew I can think of is probably Drew McWeeny off of Twitter. But then other people say here there's been no screenings. One guy says, Joseph Yu here says Larson made it clear men need not attend this movie. Caleb says here, Larson's sexist and racist attitudes don't want me to spend my money on this anyway. So here you go. So this is not review bombing. This is like audience score bombing. But that's really about it. It has absolutely no bearing on the overall impact of the film. Yeah, if you bring it up here again, you can see that it just says out of 4,139 ratings, 85% want to see it. And we have 6 pages of audience review scores that are saying, nah, we don't want to see it. I'm not interested. That's not affecting the audience score because no one has been able to see it. That's saying here, maybe people who want to see it. It means nothing. This is as big of a non-controversy as one can make, but it should shine a light on the inherent problem surrounding Captain Marvel and its impending release. And that problem squarely lies on the shoulders of Brie Larson. When she comes out and she's like, I don't want as many white men interviewing me. I want there to be more women. I want this. And then my friend gets an email that says, hey, if you happen to have a woman, send her our way. It starts to create this narrative, and it's been a public narrative, and it's one that a lot of people are picking up on. It's one that a lot of people are looking at and going, I don't know if I want to promote this. I don't know if I want to see this. The biggest problem that Kevin Feige is going to face here, and here's a 2-pronged problem, is one, they're hoping that zombie Marvel Cinematic Universe fans are going to show up in droves to go see it because they always do. That's, oh, it's the 22nd movie in this franchise. Obviously, I've seen the rest. I might as well go see this one, which there are going to be a lot of people who are going to do that. I am going to see the movie so I can aptly criticize it, just like I did with Ghostbusters. I spent months criticizing Ghostbusters for the actions taken by the creatives involved in the film and the studio head, but I still owed it to go see the movie to see whether or not my concerns were justified and valid, which they were. The trailers for this movie have not been good. The short little TV bits have been good, so it's conflicting in its marketing. Brie Larson comes across as uncharismatic, unlikable, uninteresting, and bored. She looks bored in the movie. In all the trailers, she looks bored. She's like, I'm not going to start your fight. I'm going to end it. While holding up her Oscar from Room. She's a good actress, but this may not be the right fit for her. And this again comes into my criticism of Kevin Feige, a man who I have had the utmost respect for like 20 years. This dude knows his shit, which is one of the reasons why I will give him the benefit of the doubt above all else. But I think he's blinded right now. He's blinded right now because Black Panther is up for Best Picture. He was at the Golden Globes on the red carpet, happy as a pig and shit, which he should be because, he earned it. And it's up for Best Picture. It's up for a number of other awards, and he'll be at the Oscars. He'll be rubbing elbows with all the people who he has beaten financially for years. But again, it all boils down to the awards. They want to have Oscar-winning Best Picture Black Panther to highlight above everything else. Oh, the Oscar-winning Marvel Cinematic Universe, and not just for technical awards. They want that gold. I get it, man. I get it. But I think he's kind of blinded by Black Panther and the Oscars and what it could mean that he's not paying attention to Brie Larson. And her words and her comments and her actions have started really, really splintering this fan base. And a lot of people out there who were very ticked off at Ghostbusters and very ticked off at The Last Jedi and what happens in regards to the media's pushback. And it doesn't get fixed by the studio. It doesn't get pushed back on by the studio. Then that narrative gets set because it feels that through silence is being complicit. This isn't quite like Ghostbusters, where what we had here was like actual studio head coming out and saying that the trolls are sexist. I got into it last night with someone who I know about this, trying to explain to them what all went down. And they were still like, but really there were some sexist people. I'm like, yeah, sure. But that's not everybody. And the way the media made it out to be was that it was everybody. A few pages of people clicking, I don't want to see this movie out of over 4,100 is not review bombing, especially when it hasn't been active in days. So this is a non-controversy meant to drum up controversy to support the film. Oh, the sexist trolls are coming out to attack this movie. Therefore, it should get the support of everybody. That's what this says to me. And that is not how you market a movie like this, because it will, and it always does fail. Black Panther didn't do this. Went on to gross $1.3 billion. The Last Jedi kind of did. And it only grossed $1.3 billion. Only. I say that only because The Force Awakens was over $2 billion, and even Rogue One was over 1.5. And then Solo, the fourth film from Lucasfilm under the Disney banner, only did $400 million because it got hurt. And I've said before too that fans of James Gunn and Guardians of the Galaxy are also going to punish this movie because of how Disney reacted to James Gunn controversy over the summer. So this is the situation as it works out. This is how I view it. The media, bloggers, journalists, whatever, because they all are under that umbrella, need to not push these agendas for clicks and hits. Because all you are literally doing is making it worse. What you should instead do is ask Feige, ask the heads over at Marvel Studios, over at Disney, to back the film based upon its merits and not based on the lead actress and her brand of activism. Her brand of activism that I understand you want to make that a key part of your marketing because you think it's going to work out kind of like it did with Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman didn't land with that. Wonder Woman didn't have to do that. Not at all. Not at all. And look how much money it made. 821 million worldwide. It didn't have to. These things don't have to. Ghostbusters 2016 might have actually made more money if it wasn't as controversial. Solo would have made more money if The Last Jedi wasn't as controversial. And the controversy comes from the conversation. The media pushing back on the fans, attacking the fans, in this case, attacking the white male fans, which is what they're going to do, are the number one demographic of people who go see these films. And you're going to shit on them for the sake of quick clicks and quick cash and a perpetual narrative that you will then be able to milk for months to come, and therefore further separate the brand from where things should be. That's where things are. That's the truth of it. We've seen this happen before. We're going to see it happen again, and I'm not wrong. Out of everyone on YouTube, I'm one of maybe 5 people who know the most about what went wrong with that movie. Covered it the most. I've done over 42 videos on Ghostbusters in the last 3 years. Yes, I'm fully aware of that. But I'm informed on what happened. Do not make Captain Marvel Ghostbusters 2016 and go to Brie Larson and say, if you want to do this cool, do it on your own dime. We need to change the narrative of the marketing. We need to change the narrative of all of this because our estimates are dropping by the hundreds of millions. Like I said, people will go see this movie because they've been in it for years. It's just habitual at this point, but they're going to go to get any kind of glimpse of what Endgame's going to be about. And then they're not going to go back and see it again. So you're going to get your nice big upfront bump, but your second week, third week, fourth week are going to drop. And worldwide probably won't save this movie much either. I'm just saying. This is a controversy. Don't give into it. Don't let it be what Ghostbusters is. Just don't. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. Do you think that Captain Marvel will in fact crumble under its own activism? Or do you think that the sexist men, people complaining, are just few and far between and really will have no bearing of impact on the film whatsoever? I am curious to know your thoughts. It literally could go either way. It literally could. They thought the same about Ghostbusters, and Ghostbusters crashed and burned. Even though it had positive critical ratings, but a terrible word of mouth. So there's that. If you guys made it this far, throw up a like, type Captain Marvel in the chat so I know you guys made it this far, and have a good one, guys, and peace out. Hey, thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Since you're here, why don't leave a comment? Let me know what you think about stuff. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do that as well. And you check out any of these great, fantastic, amazing commentary tracks by me. That's right. I'm not egotistical or narcissistic at all. I'm just your average, everyday, normal YouTuber. Thanks for watching.